This video is going to go over numbers 9 through 11, finding the inverse of a function. The first thing we have to do to find the inverse of a function is switch x and y values. So I'm going to change f of x to y. And then I'm going to switch the x and the y values. So x equals 3y minus 2 over 5. And now our goal is to get y by itself in this inverse equation. So to do that, the first thing we're going to do is multiply both sides by 5. So everything on the top is getting multiplied by 5, and we're multiplying by 5 over here. So we've got 5x equals 3y minus 2. Next, to get y by itself, we need to add 2 to both sides. So we're going to add 2 over here, add 2 over here. I'm going to come up to the top. So we've got 5x plus 2 equals 3y. And the last thing we have to do is divide everything by 3 on both sides. So we've got 5/3 x plus 2/3 equals y. And that would be the inverse of our original function. So for number 10, we're going to do the same thing. The original function is f of x equals 4x to the third. So the first thing we're going to do is switch f of x for y. So we've got y equals 4x to the third. And then to find the inverse, we're going to switch the x and the y values. So x equals 4y to the third, and now we're solving for y. So the first thing we're going to do is divide both sides by 4 to get the y by itself. So we've got x divided by 4 equals y to the third. And then to undo the cube, we're going to take the cube root of both sides. So we would take the cube root of this side and the cube root of this side. So final answer will be the cube root of x divided by 4 equals y. So for number 11, we are finding the inverse of f of x equals 2x minus 1. So the first thing we're going to do is change f of x to y. And the next thing we're going to do is switch the x and y values. So we get x equals 2y minus 1. And then we're going to solve this to get y by itself. So first thing we're going to do is add 1 to both sides. So we get x plus 1 equals 2y. And then we're going to divide everything on both sides by 2. So we get 1/2 x plus 1/2 equals y. And we're going to use that equation to graph the inverse function. So the second part of this says graph both functions, and I've got the two functions written in the top left-hand corner. We're going to work to graph each of these. So to graph the original, we need to be able to recognize that the y-intercept is -1, and from that -1, we're going to go up 2, right 1 on each point. Once we've got enough points plotted, we are going to just connect the dots. There is the original function, and it is a function because it passes the vertical line test. So we're going to do the same thing with the inverse. We're going to graph the inverse. The y-intercept is 1/2, and we're from the y-intercept going to go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, or we can go down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. And once we've got those points plotted, we're going to connect them again with a line. There is the original function, and the mint colored function is the inverse. And it also is a function because it passes the horizontal line test.